held on Thursday, September 3rd. It's 5:40 p.m. There being 5 members present. I will declare a quorum. I guess we'll take a moment to recite the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silent prayer. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Justice for all.
As our moment of silent prayer, I'd like to extend our sincere condolences to all those individuals that have lost a loved one during this coronavirus, and to pray and ask our dear Lord to please protect every one of us and all our loved ones and our families. We ask this in the name of Jesus. Amen. Our dear Lord. Amen. So I guess we will move on now. Oh God, it's giving me a hard time. Hey David, can you read the agenda for me? Something.
Yes, give me a second. Hold on a second.
Hang on, I got it. It's back on, I think. Yeah. Regular. The item 4, discussion and workshop presentation on fiscal year 2021 budget. Hello, Mr. Hernandez. Thank you. We'll turn it over to you.
Good afternoon to everyone. I just want to verify if you can see the screen. Yes or no?
Yes, we can see the screen.
Yes.
But, you need to speak up. I can barely hear you.
Okay, perfect. Okay, here is the statement of revenue and expenses for the last probably 8 years, since 2014. For 2020, you can see that the water revenues are projected to be 6.8. At the beginning, we were projecting almost 6.7, but after COVID-19, the revenues went up to May 2019. We were under April, but after April, everything changed, and now we're projecting 6.8 million. For sewer, the same thing. We were a little bit down, but after COVID-19 is increased, the projected amount 5.6. We're projecting total revenues of 22.6 million for 2020, and total operating expenses of 20.3, and a huge operating revenue of 1.3. Okay. What happened here is that we have some huge savings in payroll. The projected payroll for the year was around 6.6 million. We're going to discuss that later. But what happened is that the average employees that we were expecting, that were around 125, I believe. Now the average is 116, and that's the reason that we're projecting 6.49. Okay. For 20, okay. In addition to this, there are the property taxes for the year, capital contribution for change in net assets of 5.5. That's for 2020. The projection for 2021, water revenues, it's very hard to estimate the water revenues. Again, this year, because COVID-19 changed everything, the revenues went up. We don't know what is going to be the trend for fiscal year 2021. We're projecting 6.9. We have here how we calculate the projection. If you want, we can discuss that later. Wastewater, we're projecting 5.9. Solid waste, 5.1. And we're projecting revenues of 23.3. Operating expenses, we're projecting 23.1. And operating revenue, 208. This number is going to be higher. Again, because we're including here a contingency for payroll of around $75,000 and a contingency for M&O of $238,000. In addition, we're including Mesa del Norte 138 and Rosa Azul. Okay, if we eliminate this, it's 627 plus or plus the savings that we can have in payroll, close to 1 million maybe. But at this moment, we're projecting 208. Okay, property taxes 4.2. We're going to explain why from 3.2 through 4.2. Interest revenue 150. We all know that the market went down, and that's why we're projecting 150. In 2019, we received 611, and now we're going to receive 150. Capital contributions, probably $800,000. And change in net assets, 4.8. Here you can see that the change in net assets projected for 2020 is 5.5. That probably is going to be the higher amount in the last probably 7 years. Okay. Any questions so far? Okay. Let me share.
No.
Let me share another document. Okay. Can you see the employee compensation?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's discuss
Yes.
the employee compensation.
Executive.
As we mentioned, fiscal year 2020, we were projecting 6.5. When we did the projection was based on an average FTE. FTE is a full-time equivalent of 125 employees. The average payroll projected was around 52,667 per employee. Okay, that's the average cost per employee. For 2020, look at the average FTE from 125. We're projecting 116. What happens is that we are not filling the positions immediately, and then we have the CIP. We have probably 6 employees working for the CIP, and when that happens, it's not going to hit the payroll M&O, it's going to hit the payroll CIP. Probably this number is going to be lower, okay? And this number can be 51,900. That's the number that we can have at the end of September. So there is a projection. For 2021, is similar to this one, okay? But the average FTE that we're projecting is 122. Again, what happened here in 2020 is that we have received around $40,000 in payroll credits associated with the COVID. In addition, we have some employees that are on leave. Therefore, we are not paying their salary. And sometimes when they use the leave, we have to pay just 2/3 if they're using the FMLA and not the whole portion. That's why payroll that was projected to be 6.5 is going to be ending with 6.49. This number here, we expect that number to be lower again, because it all depends how fast we fill the position. And sometimes the COVID-19, for example, we can have the credits up to December. We don't know if they're going to extend the credit after January. But this number at the end of 2021, it can be maybe 6.3 million, 6.4. But again, if we have the employees at this moment for the payroll projection, you need to include everything because you don't know what is going to happen. Okay. Now let's discuss the M&O expenses. Last year, it was the original amount, the contingency, subtotal, and then we have Mesa del Norte. This year, Mesa del Norte, we're going to have more residents. This number ended to be higher, probably, I believe it was close to 110, something like that. And we're projecting 119,000 for next fiscal year. It's very important that we end Mesa del Norte by September 30, 2021, because if not, we have to continue giving the credit of $50 per customer and we're not receiving any revenue. Just we're receiving the revenue just for the solid waste at this moment for some of the customers. Los Azul decommissioning. Oh, sorry. The 119 is the projection for 2020. Sorry about that. The amount that we are projecting for 2021 is $138,000, okay, for Mesa del Norte, because we have more customers that now are going to receive the credit. Cruz Azul decommissioning, it was approved by the board in the last board meeting. We're projecting 46,500 until September 30. We already paid 24,000. And then for next fiscal year, 281. Again, we have $419,000 included in M&O that it should be, for example, a capital outlay. But we already discussed that. We have to do it because the people are waiting for us. In the case of people from Mesa del Norte, they're paying high rates. And that's why we're doing this at this moment. Okay. In terms of the budget, we created an object code that is COVID. So far, the projection is 44,000. We have to buy the masks and we have to buy other stuff related with the safety. And we're using that object code. Next fiscal year, we're projecting 50,000. And again, the budget is similar to the one of last year. 3.187, we're projecting a little bit more. The driver of this is IT. My friend Ryan is going to be charged of some scanning that we're going to outsource, and the cost of that is between $45,000 and $50,000. That's why his budget went up. But if there is not a huge increase here, we're speaking probably less than $200,000, probably 180. Again, we're going to take care of the budget, and with the manager's cooperation, we hope not to see the budget. The contingency this year is lower, 238 instead of the 279, and the subtotal is 3.6. Maybe we're going to be a little bit tight, but we know for sure that we're going to have some savings in the paper. Okay, if we have some savings here, you can use it. Okay, any questions so far? Are we good?
We're good.
Okay.
Yeah, we're okay.
The capital outlays budget. Fiscal year 2020 projected, even though the approved was 17 millions, the project is going to be 12 millions. Usually that happens. We want to do a lot of things, but we're working with a lot of things at the same time. The reason for this is that the meters, we were expecting to install some meters during this fiscal year, and look at this. Basically, the amount that you have here is related with the meters for new installation. Okay, that's why this number is lower. For next fiscal year, we're going to try again, and we know that for sure that we're going to do it. We have the meters projecting around $10 million again, but we believe that we can do it. We have a conversation internally. We believe that probably if we outsource that, we are going to make it happen. And that's a possibility that we are evaluating. The total budget that we're projecting is $50 million for CIP. Last year, 17 million. The projected amount, 12.6, and the preliminary budget, 15 million. Okay. Here, you can see the capital outlays, but how we're going to fund the capital outlays. Okay. We're going to use 3 million from the meter replacement loan that we have with TWDB. We expect to use that money this year. We have certain monies from series 2007, unbelievable, but we have at least 2.5 million that we expect to use, and maybe we have to find a way to use the remainder because this money from 2007. repair and replacement 1.5. We're going to use that for the manhole rehab. And that's money we have an account receivable that we're supposed to receive from TxDOT. We didn't receive it last year, but we hope to receive it this fiscal year. Okay, Volkswagen program, thanks to Michael Flores, we have a grant. But probably the grant is going to be close to $900,000. But what happened with the grants? They're going to give us 47% or 48% of the total cost that we're going to buy. But for this fiscal year, what happened is that we don't get the money immediately, and we're projecting to receive only 412 out of the probably 850,000 that we're going to receive. The grant is going to be around 850. The original amount is 901, but that's the maximum amount. We're projecting 850 because it depends on the amount of the price of the trucks. And the price of the trucks are going down at this moment. Okay? It is the capital outlay funded with other sources that are not the general fund. And here is the whole capital outlay budget. We're going to fund with the general fund 7 million. That's a lot of money. Again, we have a commitment with our residents, even though we approve a 27 bond issuance, we want to use our funds, the excess fund that we have, to do some projects. For example, let me see if I can, give me 1 second to see if I can.
Mr. Hernandez, real quick.
Okay.
I don't know if it's just me, but anybody else, is it getting cut off that last part of that capital outlays budget? Can you guys see it?
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry about that.
yeah, we can't see, we can only see half of that capital outlays budget.
All right.
Okay.
I thought it was just me. I'm sorry. Thank you.
Okay, let me see. Can you see it now?
No.
No?
Nope.
No.
No?
No.
Nothing. I'm going to stop share. I'm going to do it again. Share. Can you see it?
No.
No?
Try scrolling over.
No, where is
There
this
you
here?
go.
Now you can see it.
Yeah, you have to, you go to the right.
Yes.
Try
Yeah,
it again.
you need to try it again.
Okay. Okay, 1 second. Okay, let's see.
Right there. Right there.
Let's
That's
go to
good.
the right.
There we go, right there.
Too
Okay,
much.
can you see it now?
Yes.
Yeah, but you went too far to the right.
You went too far to the right. Go back. Go back. Like right there. Stop right there. Right. One more time.
Are we good?
Again.
No.
A couple more.
No, he went to, gotta go a little more.
A little bit more.
More.
He had it a few minutes
Right,
ago.
right. I think right there is good, but if you pinch it down, you can see the whole thing. If you open it up, then we lose some of it. But right now I could see capital outlays budget and then capital outlays funded with other sources.
You went over too much, I think. Can you go back
Oh.
to the? Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Right.
There.
Right.
No.
A little bit more. A little bit more. Right there. Right there.
Okay, okay, very good here. What happened is that I have something at the right that for any reason, if I move it, you're not able to see it. Okay?
Okay.
Because you can see now the capital outlay funded with other sources, right?
Correct.
That's the document that you see. But if I move right, you don't see anything.
Right. No, we're actually seeing 3 screens. We're seeing capital budget, capital outlays funded with other sources, and then capital outlays budget.
Okay, and now you can see capital outlay budget.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
perfect. Finally. Okay, capital outlay budget. You can see there funded with general fund 6.2 million. 7.2, sorry, can you see
Yes.
that? Okay, again, the idea here is that if we have some excess fund, that we can use it for our residents. The bond issuance is going to be for 27 million. We're short by 9 million. That's why we're increasing our commitment from the general fund. Last year was around 5 something that we used from the general fund, and we're estimating to use 7.2 million. Okay. Again, the good thing about this is that Mr. Long has identified around 5 projects that we can do in-house: Judy Lane, Panorama Village, Thompson Road, Williams, F.E. Jackson, and we're going to use the money to fund those projects, and we're going to do it in-house. We're going to have a lot of savings. In addition to this, we're going to use the CIP for El Conquistador, for Lourdes, to finish Rosa Azul, Mesa del Norte, to finish Cuadrilla, and the modeling that we are projecting. Okay? Any questions so far? Are we good? Okay.
Yep, I'm good.
Yes, sir, we're good.
Let me share another screen at this moment. Give me 1 second. Stop share. Okay. Can you see the preliminary budget?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
This is the budget that we're asking the board to not to approve today, but to consider. 17,017.7 for operating expenses, capital outlays of 15 million, 7.2 funded with operating revenues or with the general fund, and 7.9 funded with other sources. You can see here the amount that we're funding with the general fund is high, almost exactly the amount that we're funding with other sources. Again, as we have discussed, we're not here to make money. If we have some excess fund, we want to use it for our people. That's the idea here. And the total budget that we're projecting is 32.9. I remember back in 2018 when I came here, the budget was probably more than 33 million. At that moment, we didn't have the revenues. Now we have the revenues. And we're positive, we believe that we can do it. Okay? Any questions so far? We're good? Okay.
We're good.
It's up to you if you want to see the detail, but I have all the backup, all the information, how we did the projections. But it's up to you. How do you want to deal with this? I can explain, or I don't know if you are satisfied. Just let me know. What do you want to do?
Mr. Hernandez, can you,
Uh,
how does this compare, how does this budget, your proposed budget compare to last year's in 2018?
Okay,
Can you give us those numbers?
Last year was 33.4 because the capital outlays were higher. Again, we're projecting 12 millions and we're going to do less than that. That's why this year the capital outlays are a little bit. So last year number was 33.4. The M&O is going to be a little bit higher this year because we're including again the decommissioning and Mesa Norte subsidy increase. Last year was around 16 point something. I can get you the exact figure if you need, but again, we're projecting a net operating revenue of 200 with a contingency of 275 or 300,000. If we add the contingency, say that we don't use it, we can have 475 and some savings in payroll, we can end with 700. As I mentioned, when you prepare the budget, that you have 122 employees, you need to include everyone.
Yeah.
Then you manage the budget. Okay. Let's see what else do we have here. You already saw this. Okay. Let me share something else so that you can see it. Share. Okay, you already see this.
Okay.
Again, I have all the backup here. That's the way that we did the projection. Very fast, we're projecting 600 new water customers, 700 new sewer customers, and 650 solid waste. Okay? We're expecting to receive from the provisional rate $3 million. Again, if we had not implemented the provisional rate, our numbers at this moment are going to be red. We're receiving $3 million from the provisional rate. Okay? From the 150, that is the charge that the charge that every customer has to pay. We're projecting to receive $354,000 from the 150. From the water revenues, this projection is very hard. We try to do the best that we could have done it, but it's difficult again because look at this. 2019, okay, we're expecting to have 18,950 water customers. Okay, at this moment we are 18,928, 18,930. Say that we have 20 additional customers in September, we're going to start with 18,950. The figure that you see here is the revenue per customer back in 2019, 2020, and 2021. There is the projection. Look at this. I just want you to verify this. Okay. This number was lower, sorry, for 2020. Okay, this was higher than last year. This was lower. And then we go to January, lower. February was higher. March was lower. And then April was lower. And after May, look at this, from 31 to 32, the revenue per customer. And look at June, from 33.99 to 39.39. That's the pandemic, okay? And then July, from 39 last year to 40. August, from 37 to 40.89. And September, we're projecting to have at least $40. We were projecting less, but then I was speaking with Mr. Grijalva yesterday that we see every day the number for El Paso water and the CCF that from El Paso water that we're using are very high. We are in September. We were expecting that the CCF were going down in September, but no. CCF are more or less the same. Okay, we're projecting for this year. We said, okay, we have the pandemic at this moment. If this year we receive 27, last year 30, with the pandemic we can receive probably 30. We did an average year, something like that. And we're expecting to have the 6.9 that we already discussed. Okay, any questions so far? Okay.
No, just a comment.
Mr. Hernandez.
I know that we had like
Go ahead.
54 days of temperatures over 100 this summer, so that may be some of the reasons why the customers are using a lot of water.
Yes, but again,
Well, I think that people are using water because we're staying home, working from home,
yes.
several ends. And then not only that, during the pandemic, I think, at least I know that I was advised you wash less clothes and don't try to fill up your washer. So I think that's why people are probably using more water. Or they don't have anything to do, so they go outside and water their lawn.
But what happens is that we don't know, for example, if the school starts in October or November, maybe the trend is going to change. That's why when we prepare the budget, we try to be conservative, just to make sure that we can present a balanced budget. But if we have more, good for us. Okay. The sewer revenues are a little bit easier to project. Look at this. 2019, the revenue per customer $30 with 11 cents. 2020, $30 with 1 cent. That's unbelievable. We're expecting a little bit less. The reason for that is the commercial customers that we're receiving a little bit less sewer from them. That's why even though the water residential customers, the revenue from sewer went up, the revenue for the commercial went down. That's why you have this number. We're projecting probably $30 with 6 cents, and that's the number that we're projecting. The holders were providing holder services, thanks to Mr. Mireles' group. And look at this, we're projecting to have around $80,000 for that. Okay, the total sewer revenues that are projected are going to be 5.9 million, that represent 4.9%, almost a 5% increase since last year. What happened here is that if you have more sewer customers, your revenues are going to go up. If you see here, the average revenue per customer is $30. If you go to water, it's close to $30. Okay, but for any reason, we're making more money here. Not that we're making more money, it's that the increase is going to be 5% here, and the water just 2.6. The increase is more. For solid waste, okay, that's the projection for solid waste. The revenue per customer 2019, 22, 25, 2020, 22.98. We're projecting probably 23.63. And these are the solid waste revenues that we're projecting for this fiscal year. If we add the new customer that we're projecting 650, the revenue from the new customer is 64,000 for a total of $5,097,000. Okay, for solid waste, we're using this formula that has been consistent. The profit margin, if you can see here, usually is 4%. Every year, except these 2 years, was 6.2 and 5.8. This year, we're projecting 4% profit margin, and next fiscal year, 4.2. Based on this, we did the projection so that we can have a profit margin of 4.2%. We're expecting the revenue to increase by 6.19 and the landfill cost of 13%. Here, you can see the landfill increased by almost 17%. The reason for this is the residential customer that the landfill cost went up. Okay, let's go to El Paso water projection. This one is very difficult to predict because sometimes we're expecting them to increase and they lower, but we're projecting at least a 10% increase from 115 to 127. Last year, we had a 14% increase, and the previous year, it was negative. They lowered the rate to 101, from 1 something to 101. That means that it's a little bit hard, but we're projecting to have 2.896. This year, we are projecting to have 2.881. And for sewer, we're projecting to have an increase of 6% for a total of 1.6, and the total that we're going to pay to El Paso Water is 5.164. The amount that we are projecting to pay this year is 4.6. If you see here, there is a huge increase from almost 4.7 to 5.1. The reason for this is that we're purchasing more water. That is the opposite that in the previous year that we're purchasing less water. Okay. The efficiency, that is the water loss, 2019, 87.59 efficiency. That means that our water loss was 12 point something. This year, our efficiency, our projected efficiency is 85%. I hope that we can get close to 86. Look at this. The CCF purchase, we're projecting 333. I hope that this number can be 320. Last year, this number was 270. Okay, but again, people in September, they're using the water. They're still using the water. Okay,
Yeah.
and we're projecting an efficiency of 87%. That was something similar to here, 87.59. What happened here is that when you use more water, you're going to lose more water. We know that we're going to replace the meters, but what happened here is that I hope that we can go to 88 this year, but again, with 85 here, it's very difficult that we project 89 or whatever. I hope that we can get there, but we don't know. Okay.
Mr. Hernandez, what is
Okay.
what is the industry standard for efficiency?
It can be probably 6%, 7. A pass of water.
Yes.
I believe that there's like 6% or 7%, something like
Yeah.
that. We
Yeah,
have
anywhere
to find
between
the
6 and
way.
8 is the industry standard. Yes, you're right. Okay.
We have to find a way. I believe that when we install the meters, I hope that we can go maybe to 90 and then a water loss of 10. But again, we have to find a way to account for the every time that we flush, every time that we do other stuff, we have to find a way to account for that because sometimes this analysis is not including the flushing, the water from the fire hydrants. Uh, Again, when we store the meters, we're going to see the numbers daily. It's going to be easier for us to see, okay, where we're losing water. Again, maybe into 2022, our water loss can be 9%. But the first step is to replace the meters. Okay. And let's see. I'm positive that probably we can go to 9% or something like that. I don't know 8. That would be good, but I don't know. We have to see what is going to happen with the new meters. Any other questions? Okay.
No, Mr. Hernandez.
No.
Okay, look at this. These are the miscellaneous projections. 2020, we were in 600,000 in 2017. 2020, 1.5 millions. That's the projection. The reason for this is the right to connect fees of 577, and then the processing fee. And this number was provided by Mr. Atilan. Look at this. This number, El Paso Water Right Leasing Fees, is a fee that we get related with the water rights. We were getting 32.50, and this year we're projecting 169. That number was provided by Mr. Atilano. Next year, there is no way that we can predict this. Therefore, if we have to put a number, I put 110. Okay? Because here, from 50 to 169, it all depends on the acres and all the things, but we have to do an analysis with Mr. Atilano. Maybe we can improve this projection. Right to connect fees, 537. Next year can be 480, can be a little bit more, but we're projecting 480. For this amount, 1.4 million. Okay. As we have discussed, we hope that for the next 3 years, we don't have to do anything with the rates because we're getting the revenues, we're getting the right to connect fees. Okay, and finally, this is as we discussed, I started with this one. This number is 208. I am positive that the number can be maybe more than $500,000 at this moment. But as we discussed, we're including here in the payroll 75,000 of contingency. And in addition, we're including a contingency here in the M&O of 200 something. If we have some savings here, we can add probably 400,000 more. And it all depends what is going to happen here with the water. Again, to do a projection for water is difficult. We try to do our best. You already saw our projection, but maybe this number can be 7 something, but we don't know. Okay, that's it with the budget presentation. If you have any questions? No?
I guess what I'm just saying is, you know how we're saying we're using up, or the customers are all using up quite a bit of water, but I would think, I guess once we change our meters and that we know we're definitely getting accurate readings, that's going to be a plus for us, no? Because of what the customer is paying into the system for the usage of the water.
Yes. When we
Unless,
you're absolutely fine.
because unless we get to item 5 and then you're going to tell us something different. You know what I'm saying? So I think I'll hold off on what I have a little concern about until we get to the next item.
Do you
Okay.
want to,
Does anybody else have any? Does anyone have any questions for Mr. Hernandez regarding the presentation of the budget 2021 for fiscal year?
Not for me. Thank you.
okay, are we good? Yeah.
Yes, not for me. No questions.
Okay. We're going to go on. I guess, Mr. Hernandez, if you're done with item 4, right? So we can move on to item 5.
Yes.
So we'll move on to item 5, discussion and workshop presentation on the proposed tax rate for fiscal year 2021. Now, this is probably where I'll have questions. So we'll allow you to give the presentation, and then any director has the right to go ahead and ask any question. Go ahead, Mr. Hernandez. Thank you.
Let me see if I can share, because I don't see the document here. For any reason, let me see. I have the presentation in front of me, but I am not able to share. I don't see it here. Let me stop sharing again to see if I can. Okay, now I can see it. Let me know if you can see the presentation.
Yes, I can see it.
Yes.
Okay, let's start. Okay, there is the tax rate presentation for fiscal year 2021 or tax year 2020. As you know, the maximum tax rate that we can have is 12 cents per $100 valuation, and this was authorized on April 4, 1987. Oh, sorry, I missed this one. Sorry about that. Okay, this is the budget workshop that is today. This is the proposed dates. September 10, if you approve this, not to approve, if you agree with this, and thank you to Mr. Blanco for the clarification that he did the other day. September 10, we're looking forward to advertise the public hearing date, if the board agrees. September 17, we're proposing, but you have to approve that, to have the public hearing on the proposed tax rate, September 17, that is going to be a Thursday. And on September 24, we're proposing to approve, to adopt the tax rate with the budget in September 24. Okay, these are the proposed dates. But again, you're going to decide you want to do it, you want to use this date or you want to use different dates. Okay. The tax rate is adopted.
You know what, Mr. Hernandez, my only question is Mr. Blanco online? I don't know if he is or not. If not, does it have to be advertised for at least 30 days? Did he say those dates are okay? Mr. Blanco said that was okay.
What happened here is that we discussed that we always discuss this with El Paso County, We discussed the date with them. We did the same thing last year. We need to advertise 7 days after the public hearing date.
Okay.
That's the information that I
No,
have.
long as he okay, long as he was okay with it. I just for some reason in my mind I was thinking 30 days, but as long as you had clarified it, that's fine. Thank you.
Okay. But Mr. Blanco can answer the question. I thought that is
Yeah, I'm on. Yeah, those dates work.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Mr. Blanco. Okay. Again, if you agree, we can do the public hearing September 17, 2020 via Zoom, and you have to determine the time. It's on you, whatever you want to. Okay, let's discuss this. Oh, these are the taxes. Back in 2012, the tax rate was 0.20. The tax rate started to go down because the tax rate was going down from 0.08 in 2012 to 0.03 in 2019. Okay, we will know that we did a bond election. In the bond election, the board, the lower body has authorization to go to 8 cents for the debt rate. We spoke with Ms. Urbina. We believe, based on her projection, that we're going to be at 0.0750 for a total tax rate of 0.195033. This tax rate is different to the one that I sent as part of the packet because I did something wrong. We're supposed to use only 12 cents here. I was using 2.121. I have to use 0.12 because, as we discussed, the maximum amount that was approved was 12 cents. Okay, we can go over this number, 12 cents. Mr. Blanco is here. That's my understanding that we can go over 12 cents. Okay, if we compare next year tax rate with this year tax rate, there is an increase of 27%. The reason for that is that the 27 million bond issuance that we expect to close by February 2018. Okay. The maintenance and operation cannot increase more than 3.5 of the average resident hosted. Okay, we're using this amount because we can go beyond the 12%. We're going to explain you right now. Okay, we need to use this amount because if we use the 112.89, we're going to be over the 12%. If you see here, there is an increase of $42.81 from 2019 to 2020. 30.69 increase because the bond issuance. Any questions so far? Okay, I continue.
No, Mr. Hernandez, not for me.
Okay. Residents were paying 145.98, 140, 139 for the last year. I didn't include the previous year, so it was something like that. And again, they're going to pay 182, that are $42 more than last year. Okay, I was explaining this some time ago. When I gave you the numbers, I was using this 0.120761. My understanding, I spoke with Mr. Cantu, the bond counselor, he told me, no. By the election of 1987, you can go over 0.12. Okay? This represents a difference of $16,000. That is something. Okay? But again, that's the maximum amount that we can levy for M&O. Okay? The total amount that we're going to receive for property taxes are going to be 4.2 billion to 37. Last year we received 3.146. Here we are going to receive 136 more for M&O and 97. Look at this. It's because of that increase. That's the reason. Okay. Usually we have been receiving 3 million every year. We're going to receive 1.1 more. And this is my last slide. If you have any question, in theory, the rate that we're looking forward to present in the public hearing is going to be this one, 0.195033. That's the proposed rate for fiscal year 2021 or tax rate year 2021. The only thing that maybe is pending at this moment is to make a decision when it's going to be, if we want to follow this. If you agree with this, we have to advertise on September the 10th, and then the public hearing on September 17th. You have to determine the time and to adopt on September 24th with the budget. That's it for me. If you have any questions, just let me know. Are you okay with the 17th, or do you want another date?
I think we all need to look at our calendars. That's next Thursday. Yeah, I think I'm okay. Yeah, because I can't do it the 15th or 16th.
Thursday, next Thursday.
Don't they usually do the public hearing right before? I mean,
Oh, it's not next Thursday. It's 2 weeks from.
2 weeks from now. Next Thursday, we're going to advertise. We can advertise before. What happens is that we're going to use the carrier that is cheaper, but we can use the other newspaper, and we can do advertising in different dates. Maybe you don't have a date today. You can let me know later.
Mr. Hernandez, we have a deadline, right? When is the deadline?
For example, what happens is that it all depends where we want to advertise. If we want to advertise in the carrier, it has to be done on Thursday. Obviously, tomorrow is Friday. It has to be the other Thursday, September the 10th. And then after 7 days, we can do the public hearing. Again, if you believe that we can do it in the 17th, the other thing that we can do is we can advertise in a different newspaper, not using the carrier. Okay, and we can have a different public date for the public hearing.
My question is, why can't we do it a half an hour before the regular meeting?
Oh, you're speaking because we're going to adopt the rate on the 24th. Okay,
Got it.
We don't have a problem in the 24th. We can do it from 6 to 6:30, and then on 6:30 the regular board meeting. But the decision here is when we're going to advertise and when it's going to be the public hearing.
Now, we can advertise, and it doesn't have to be exactly 7 days later that we have the meeting, right?
No, my understanding, Mr. Blanco is there. Mr. Blanco, can you help me with that?
What is the
I was
question?
gonna ask you.
Okay, the question is, Steve, we'll advertise the public meeting to be a half an hour before the regular meeting where we're gonna adopt the tax rate. Is that advisable, or there might be?
You can do it. You just have to have it published for at least 7 days.
Yeah,
which we would.
What Mr. Hernandez is worried about is that there's going to be somebody contesting the tax rate at the public hearing. And then we only have a half an hour to address it.
No, no, my
Oh, I
concern,
see what he's saying.
my concern is when is going to be the public hearing? The date.
We can have it on the 24th at 6 o'clock.
No, but that's not, okay.
The regular board meeting is the 24th of September
At 6:30.
Okay, but
at 6:30.
on the 24th, we're not going to do a public hearing. On the 24th, we're going to adopt the rate.
Right.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. But what you do is at 6 p.m. or 6:15, because it doesn't take that long. And even when there is somebody there and we're running late on the schedule, on the regular board meeting, we still have like 15 minutes to go into it before anything happens. Right, Steve? So let's say somebody does come up and questions it and wants an explanation, and we have it at 6:15, we have 15 minutes to 25 minutes to address it, and then go on to the regular board meeting, even if we're running a little late.
And what we do, Mr. Hernandez, is we advertise two meetings. One is the public hearing
Right.
at 6:15. The other one is the regular board meeting at 6:30.
And usually what we've done in the past is we'll have the public hearing at 6 p.m. And usually no one is really there, but if there is, you still have 30 minutes before the board meeting.
I believe, Mr. Blanco, I believe that I'm missing something, right? Because we have to do a public hearing before, and we need to advertise the public hearing, but in addition to this, we need to advertise when we're going to adopt the tax rate, right?
Yes, but you can do that at the same meeting. You can, as long as the notice of the public hearing has been published for at least 7 days, you can set the public hearing to occur on the same day as the board meeting where you adopt the rate, but the public hearing has to come first.
Okay, that means that the public hearing can be on the 24th too?
Yes.
Yes.
And we can advertise next week, not a problem. We can advertise way in advance, not a big deal.
The only issue would be, I think Mr. Hernandez, correct me if I'm wrong, but your concern might be that somebody or a group of people may oppose the proposed tax rate and the board may want to have time to adjust it or do something about it. That I don't know. We do have a deadline to adopt the tax rate, so there wouldn't be a lot of time left after that.
Okay, to answer your question, when the election passed, there is a resolution that was approved that we can go over 8 cents. And we are under 8 cents, we are 7 point something. That means that even though somebody can protest or do something, we have an election and it was approved.
Okay,
That
as long
makes
as
it
that
easier.
number, as long as that, you're talking about the INS rate?
yes, because as
Okay,
long as this number is less than 8 cents and it's 7.5, okay, it was in the board election, that means that it was approved.
Yeah, so as long as you're within the approved number, I mean, there's not a legal challenge to it. It's going to be a legal tax rate. You can do it at the same meeting. Now, the adoption of the tax rate and what we're going to have is obviously a board decision.
Right. So, I mean, like Mr. Grijalva said, we can advertise next week and you're still within the 7-day limit prior to the board meeting. And then you have,
We have it scheduled for the 24th at 6 or 6:15.
Okay, and we
Yeah.
don't do anything in the 17th, right? We do it in the 24th.
Yes,
Okay.
unless the 17th is for us to meet some sort of a deadline we have somewhere else.
It's not, that's the soonest. If you publish the notice for the public hearing on the 10th, the soonest you can have the public hearing is September 17th, but you could have it later than that.
Okay, And the Central Appraisal District has not set a deadline for us. That's in September,
No.
right, Mr.?
No, as long as we provide the info before September 30, we're good. Okay, September
Okay.
24. Last year we did it in the last week of September. If you agree, we can do it in the 24 at 6 o'clock.
The only problem I see is that we have to have a quorum for that meeting because we can't reschedule.
Right. So, oh Jesus, I better make sure well then, or we have a special board meeting on the 17th just to do that. And if you advertise, you're still within 7 days.
It's up to you guys.
If we were going to have it on the 17th, then we're not worried about anything. That's all we do is have that one meeting, and then we'll have our regular board meeting on the 24th and not worry about anything, because then it still gives us time. In hopes that everybody shows up. But look, right now with Zoom, the good thing is we're able to call in with the phones also. And so hopefully if anybody has an issue, they're going to be able to call in. So I guess I want to hear from the rest of the board. Do you all prefer to do it on the 17th and not worry about having to be of anything coming up on the 24th that could create an issue?
Ma'am, this is Rod Chavez. I'm good. I would prefer to have it on the 17th. That way it'll give us some time to discuss within the board to see what kind of changes the public has, or what kind of concerns they've got. Because right now, based on what was presented by Mr. Hernandez, it looks like we're going to get an additional $1 million. What wasn't presented is, how are you going to spend those $1 million? Where do you want to spend those $1 million? Are you going to increase the number of employees within the Lower Valley Water District, or how are you going to spend it?
No, it is for the taxes.
It's got to pay the loan.
Okay.
So, but I thought we just refinanced. I thought we were going to refinance a whole bunch of old loans, and we were going to get some tax savings, a whole bunch of tax savings.
That's another issue altogether.
Okay.
Yes.
There is the 27.5 bond issuance that was approved in the bond election.
Yes.
Okay.
That's what this is for.
What we're going to refinance is the revenue bonds, not the.
That's our past debt.
Yes.
So we're financing.
Okay.
We're financing our past debt, but at the same time, we've got future debt that we're incurring that we have to pay from these taxes.
Okay. Got it. I understand.
You see here, Mr. Chavez, the 12
But when are you going to get that money? You haven't released those bonds yet, right? We haven't received $27 million.
No, it's going to be probably the closing February 2021, but Ms. Urbina, probably we need to have a presentation to the board so that you approve everything. But the expected closing date is going to be February 2018.
Okay. So we still have almost we can't wait to increase the tax rate perhaps next year?
No,
does it have to be now?
Is that the Central Appraisal District has to put it on their rolls for next year's taxes.
Yeah, what happened, Mr. Chavez, is that, for example, if we're going to do a 27.5 bond issuance, we're going to have a principal and interest payment in September 2021. If we don't levy the taxes, we have to use district funds, and then it's going to be difficult.
Okay.
That's why we're doing this.
Okay, I got it.
Hey, Ron.
Yes.
I
Yes.
think an easy way to look at it is that those tax rates are kind of that's how the whole district was created years ago, right? But
yes,
since we went out for the bond issuance, that's where you come in, where the rate's going to go up a little bit, because we have to pay that. We've got to start being able to pay down that I guess that bill.
The debt that we're going to incur. So it's just a matter of timing.
I think what people are, that's what people want me raising people's eyes, is they think we're raising taxes, but we're really kind of having to raise tax to pay the debt service, because we went, the bond was approved, right? The bond,
exactly.
the voters approved.
The voters approved it.
So that's what,
Because keep in mind that, right, keep in mind that the public went out to vote. They approved the bond. It went through, obviously. And
Yeah.
so now they're going to have to understand this is why we have to do. Now, if it was the other way around, I think we as directors would not want to raise any taxes based on the fact that we've been beaten up on a school tax, this and that, a county, you name it. But now, because the bond is, now, if we're going to hear from anyone, it will probably be those individuals that voted against the bondage. Okay?
Yeah.
Right.
But if you
Other
look
than
at it like
that,
the M&O rate always stays the same. And it's the
Yes.
tax debt service is what changes. It kind of stayed like in 2012 it was high. We're paying down, and now it's going to go back up. We just issued out, help me, Jerry, 20 million, 22 million,
27?
whatever it was. But that's how we got to pay that back now.
Okay, yep, I got it. I
And
understand.
here's why.
so that being the case, we may decide that we do what we've done in the past. You have the meeting at 6 p.m. and then we have 30 minutes to do what we have to do. And then we go into our regular board meeting.
I'm fine for whatever you all decide. David Carrasco.
Yeah, same here. I can do a 5:30 meeting before our regular board meeting on the 24th.
And actually, yeah, that's a good idea. We probably could, but then, yeah, because look, we're all on Zoom. And so we're going to get off. If we finish ahead of time, then it gives you some additional time to get ready for the 6:30. So maybe we could instead have it at 5:30. Excuse me. And then move on to the regular board meeting at 6:30.
On the 24th.
Okay? On the 24th.
24, that's a good idea. That's good.
Now, are you telling us, Mr. Hernandez, that you feel more comfortable wanting us to approve and discuss sooner than the 24th? You're the financial individual, so do you prefer that we do this on the 17th instead of the 24th? You feel more comfortable?
Okay, I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah, we want you to.
We're going to request a legal opinion from Mr. Cantu because we discussed this with him. We told him, okay, can we levy taxes if we haven't done the bond issuance for something that we expect to happen, but we don't know? And he told me yes. I told him, okay, no problem, but we need to have like a legal opinion to make sure that we can do it. That's the first thing. The second thing, we have to make sure to have the bond issuance, because if we don't have the bond issuance, we already levy taxes. Okay.
Yeah.
That means that these two events, we need the legal opinion just to play safe that we can do it. He told me, yes, we can do it. But he was going to put something in writing. But we have to do everything so that we can make it happen and do the bond issuance by February or March. Because if we levy taxes and then we don't do the bond issuance, that's not good.
Is Mr. Cantu going to be ready by the 17th?
No, yes. We had that conversation.
Okay, so from what I'm hearing, it sounds like maybe the 17th is best.
Yes.
Right? He doesn't have an issue with the. I think he's going to feel more comfortable us doing it sooner than later in case something comes up, right?
Yes.
Is that what I'm understanding? Okay,
Yes.
and that answers our question, guys.
I believe that we have to play safe and maybe it's convenient to have the public hearing in the 17th and then Mr. Cantu can be there also with the legal opinion to answer the questions, whatever.
Okay.
Again, we as a district have to make sure to do the bond issuance by February or March, because if we're going to levy taxes, we have to do it.
Okay, then I guess we'll do it on the 17th, and let's all mark our calendars and make sure that we're available. I guess what we'll do on the 17th, instead of 5:30, I guess we'll do 6 o'clock, guys. Is everybody okay with that?
No problem.
I'm okay.
Yes, that's fine.
Henry,
At what time?
6
No,
o'clock.
I'm for it.
Que
6
te,
o'clock,
que
okay.
te des, que te des cena temprano, Margaret, para que no te vas a desmayar. Okay.
Okay, that means that it is going to be at 6 o'clock here, right? 6 o'clock.
Yeah,
Okay.
6 o'clock on the 17th.
Then we'll do that 6 o'clock on the
Done deal.
17th. Okay?
Okay, good.
All righty. Are we
Okay.
done on this item?
Yes, I'm going to stop sharing, okay? Thank you for your attention.
No? That's okay. Thank you. We'll move on to item 6, discussion regarding the proposed tax rate to be addressed at a public hearing to be scheduled. This is pretty much what we just discussed, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so I guess the discussion on 6 is that we will schedule a public hearing on the 17th. I mean, yes, and then you all will advertise 7 days prior. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, so then we're running pretty close on making sure it's announced, right? We have to make sure we put that out there because you said it's 7 days, right?
Yes.
Okay. All righty. So we'll move on to item, thank you, Mr. Hernandez. Item 7, discussion and possible action to change insurance plan year for medical, dental, vision, and life insurance plans to run from October 1st to September 30th to coincide with the Lower Valley Water District's fiscal year.
Good evening.
Sabrina.
Good evening.
Good evening, Sabrina.
So currently our insurance plan year runs from December 1st to November 30th. We're proposing that we change it to coincide with the fiscal year just to make it a lot easier for budget purposes. Right now, we're kind of doing a rough guesstimate when we do the budget. But if we have it coincide with the fiscal year, it'll make things a lot easier and a lot clearer. So that's the main reason.
Sabrina, from our meeting the other day, were you able to check and see when it did change? Because like I
You
said
know
in the
what?
past.
Yeah, we had records management go back to 2012. And for the last 8 years, it's either been in November or December. Since 2016, it's been in December, but prior to that, it was November. Was the start of the plan year. So.
Okay.
I don't know. I just don't ever remember voting moving to December. I don't know. But neither here nor there. I personally agree. I think we're okay. I don't think it matters to the board. I think they're all in agreement, unless any of you directors have any questions regarding that.
No, as David Carrasco, I think it should be with the fiscal year.
Mr. Chavez?
Yeah, I don't have any questions, ma'am. I agree with Mr. Carrasco.
Mr. Estrada?
No problems with that.
Okay. Mr. Trujillo?
No problem. I'm for it.
I so move that we approve this item as presented and move from October 1st to September 30th to coincide with the Lower Valley Water District's fiscal year.
I'll second. David Carrasco.
David.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded by Mr. Carrasco. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 8, discussing the possible action to renew medical, dental, vision, and life insurance plans with current providers Blue Cross Blue Shield, Dental Select, Superior Vision, and Dearborn Life Insurance carriers effective October 1st, 2020. Sabrina?
So since it is approved, we went ahead and sent the insurance out to bid. This year, our initial renewal from Blue Cross Blue Shield was very high. I sent you the information in your packets. There's an executive summary. We put the insurance out to bid because the insurance rate from Blue Cross came back at 29.4% increase. We had a medical loss ratio this last year of 116%. Just to let you know, the target medical loss ratio is usually between 80 to 85%. So we're way over what we should be paying out. So Blue Cross is actually losing money with us. So they came back with a 29.4% increase. We did send it out to bid with various carriers. Besides Blue Cross, we looked at Aetna, Humana, United Healthcare, ABA, American National, Cigna, TML, and Trustmark. Of all those providers, American National, Cigna, TML, and Trustmark declined to quote because of our loss ratio, but we did receive quotes from Aetna, Humana, and United Healthcare. The only ones that came close were Aetna in terms of matching what our current benefits are. The closely matched benefits were through Aetna. Aetna showed us 3 different plans, but they were not able to meet the same plan that we currently have. It would have resulted in a plan change, meaning that the employees would have faced double the amount on the deductibles, double the amount on specialists, increased costs for prescriptions, lab work, and so forth. Aetna's plan also does not cover out-of-network expenses. It would be an exclusive provider organization rather than the preferred provider organization that we currently have with Blue Cross Blue Shield. That being said, the Insurance Brokers USI went back to Blue Cross with the options that Aetna presented to us, and they were able to bring the increase down from a 29.4% to a 6.5% increase, a single-digit increase, which is very good, and that would be with no plan change. And again, it's very good considering that our loss ratio is at 116%. So we're asking the board to approve staying with Blue Cross with a slight increase of 6.5%. What that comes out to is, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
What that comes out to is a $37.34 increase per employee. And we have approximately 112 employees that are currently on the insurance plan. The other benefits are dental.
And I think we figured that was 40-some thousand, no, a year, or 30-some thousand, because we're going to get a credit or something. You said.
Yes, we're getting Blue Cross is offering us a credit of $19,104. So that brings it down to less than $40,000 net increase annually. And then the other insurance.
Thank you.
For dental, vision, and life, there's no increase. They gave us a rate pass this year, so no increase to those. So we're recommending that we stay with all of the current insurance providers.
Let me ask you something. On the life insurance, how much did the board agree? Is it 50,000 and then AD&D is 100,000, or?
The 50,000, correct? And AD&D is twice that.
Oh, okay, for every employee, right?
Every employee.
Okay, and then of course accidental death would be 100,000. The Human Resource Committee met, Mr. Carrasco and I think it was Tuesday, Mr. Carrasco, that we met with Ms. Sabrina and Mr. Grijalva. And it is the recommendation of the HR committee that we go ahead and approve at this moment with everything going on. I think the rate is good. Insurance rates are going up like crazy. We would, I think it's amazing how you have insurance and if you use it, your rates go up. So why have it after all the premiums we have to pay? But at the moment, I think it was agreed that we don't want to make any changes of any kind to the employees. It's such a hassle once you get a new insurance and then you have to adjust to another doctor because that doctor may not be on that plan. And I think right now with COVID-19 and everything going on, I think the employees already have too much on their plate. We don't want to have to put them through anything else. I know I would hate to do that. So I think both Mr. Carrasco and I did agree that this is in the best interest of the district and the employees, and we're hoping the rest of the board agrees no different. So it is the recommendation of the HR committee that we approve this item. Mr. Chavez, do you have any questions?
No, ma'am, not at this time. I agree with all you stated. The only question I have is the district paying for the employee only, or are they paying for the entire family?
No. We
just the
pay employee only, and the employee pays the portion for the dependents.
Okay. Then
correct, Sabrina and Grijalva, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay,
Yes.
that's all I have. Thank you.
And the board has always decided to do that in attempt to provide the right benefit for its employees so that, you know, for retention reasons. And so this is why the board's done what they've done right now.
No, I absolutely agree.
Eventually,
I think it's
we
a
may
good
get to
benefit to
a
have.
point that this may, it may get to a point that we may have to change that depending on our chief financial officer that's always watching every penny, which is good. Just joking, Mr. Hernandez. But at the moment, I think we're okay, and I think this is something that we need to give to the employee.
Thank you.
Mr. Trujillo, do you have any questions?
I have no question. No question.
Mr. Estrada?
No questions.
Well, with that in mind, that no one has any questions, and I sit on the HR committee, I so move to approve the item as presented.
I second.
I'm sorry?
I was
And
gonna say
that
I
was
second.
Mr. Carrasco, right?
Yes.
And seconded by Mr. Carrasco. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed?
None.
Motion carries. The next item on the agenda is adjournment, and before we adjourn, I so ask that, which I know you're doing, Mr. Grijalva, that you please try to keep every employee safe and make sure that they follow procedures of social distance and wearing their mask. It's a known fact that maybe wearing the mask isn't going to protect 100%, but at least it helps. And I guess we're here to assist you in whatever you need. I so move to adjourn.
I second it.
And seconded by Mr. Estrada, I believe.
Yes.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed?
Carries.
Motion carries. Thank you. Don't forget to mark your calendars for the 17th, everyone. Okay? Thank you.
You
Good
got
night.
it.
Good night.
Have a good night.
Alrighty. Bye.
Night.
Good night.